troubled times, our fifth objective. A new world order can emerge.
All right, everybody, welcome to the opening day of This Week in Conspiracy Theory. My name is Justin.
And I'm Brad.
And there's our sexy tech girl, the redheaded stepchild, also known a.k.a. shitty-ass dirtball Ashley. That's what my grandfather called her.
Thanks, Pat.
Yeah, that's what my grandfather called her.
Because she pooped herself one time.
When she was 15.
I was 2.
She was still.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So we got some big stories this week. A lot of crazy things going on in the world.
Yeah. No, I heard you went to Hershey this week.
Yeah. Hershey, where they treat you like Nazis to walk through and see how the chocolate's made. Hey, let me stick this gun-shaped thing and take your temperatures. And make sure you log in and get our free tickets and give us all your personal information.
What they need your social security number.
Everything but, dude. They literally drew blood from me. You know what I mean? And then, because my wife and I don't conform to their stupid ass shit, they're like, my kids are like, come on, Mom and Dad, come on, you can't act like that. But I tell them, I explain to them, this is exactly how Nazi Germany started. Like, the Nazis would make you write all your information down, and then they would say, hey, wear this yellow star. Hey, let me stick this gun to your head. Hey, just walk through here and get a shower. We promise.
You walk through the cattle gates, they stick this gun right through your head.
Yeah, it's excellent time.
Sorry, don't worry. You're just getting a nice hot shower.
Yeah, and then afterwards, we promise you a free piece of chocolate.
Yeah, the worst chocolate ever. It's not even good chocolate.
Welcome to Hershey.
Well, you sent me a text today with the meme of, I think it's I Am Legend, right? With Will Smith.
Yeah.
Says, I'm the last person on earth. He's leaning against the thing by himself. And then Fauci's underneath it says, well, you still need to wear a mask.
Yeah. I was thinking 3 masks. Three masks. Yeah.
No, just because you sent me a text last night, you had a bunch of silver coins you got for change.
Yeah. So we went to Hershey, but we also went to the outlets right next door.
Sure.
And I go into this one store with my kid, and I'm like, we pay for something, and she hands me back. As soon as they hit my hand,
you can tell
I'm like, they're freaking silver coins.
Yeah, you can look at them.
Right. So I'm like, listen, I will give you dollars for your quarters, because obviously I know that they're worth like $4. You know?
Right.
And she's like, well, I got to check to see how much change we have here, because we don't get a lot of change back. And I'm like, look, I'll go root through my car and give you quarter for quarter back. I'll even buy something else so you can open your drawer,
right.
So you don't have to fake open your drawer. And so anyway, I end up with 13 silver coins, 13 of them. And they range from 1936 to 64. So, some old dude probably died and left his kid rolls of silver.
Yeah.
And he was like, hey, let's go to the outlets and let's buy some clothes from Aeropostale and some underpants, for my kids. And
Aeropostale,
yeah, whatever, dude. So, I get, I'm looking at them, I look them up online. So, with just the silver content, they're worth $4, $4.21 or something.
Yeah.
So, $50 for the whole, just silver content. But, some of them are pretty collectible. There's 5 of them that I was reading about that have an actual Denver mint.
Okay.
During the war, and they were rare, so they're actually worth a little bit more.
Like
$10. I could literally have got they pretty much financed my trip to the Hershey factory and to the outlets,
the Auschwitz of Hershey,
the Auschwitz factory and to the outlets. But and it's funny because the kids that are, I call them kids because they're probably 17, 18 years old. They're like, we thought they were fake. We had to call somebody because they look so fake. And it's funny because, if you deal I like to buy silver and stuff. So when you deal with silver, you realize how real they feel. Because they're actually made out of real things, not tin and zinc and crap. And so when you just have to laugh that like, and then like at the end there were still some in there that they wouldn't let me have. Like, so I pulled them aside and like, listen, those quarters are worth like $4 a piece because of the silver content, just the silver. So at the end of the day, if you guys have more in there and you have quarters in your car, switch them out and keep them because like they're actually worth money.
Yeah.
It's like real money with like a silver content before we started like taking real money out of things and like destroying everything.
Yeah, it's actual money that you can buy stuff with now. It's something like the paper we get for free. From
right. Hey, there was a tornado. Let's print $1 trillion so that we can buy more crap.
Yeah, we give it to everybody. So
like we don't care. Like one of the things I found this week, which I thought was super funny, that like nobody's talking about, is the stinking the fact that the government has confirmed that there was a stinking triangle-shaped UFO, and like, I laugh because like, how is this not like the story of the century?
Right. Yeah.
Since 1950. Since the, quote, balloons crashed in the desert out in California or Arizona or Nevada, wherever the hell they are.
I think it was New Mexico.
I mean, does it really matter? I mean, it's just a great big empty space of nothingness out there. But, like...
It was on a farmer's ground, man.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know what you farm in dirt and arid.
Sand?
Arid. Yeah.
It's a sandbox.
It was a sandbox.
Right. I mean, I'm sure you can farm something.
I think he had a ranch.
Yeah. But, like...
A ranch with a windmill with a water...
with a pump, like
water,
a derrick.
An old well.
Pumping up and down.
It was an old well because I watched a show where the people were like getting deformed. Like the guy that lived there afterwards, so they had some metal content from that crash.
Oh, yeah,
from
alien metal.
Yeah, his hands were getting all deformed and shit. I don't know what happened. I don't think it was, I don't know, a UFO show on History Channel.
Right.
How reliable they are.
Well, it was probably just the government dumping crap into the ground and like killing everybody.
Yeah,
and,
it was the test for nuclear waste when they first learned about it 30 years before they told everybody they had it.
Right, but the thing is, for 70 years we've been debating on whether or not like aliens exist, whether or not there's something out there in space that nobody really knows what it is, and since COVID, quote, has hit, they have literally told us that everything they've leaked out from the Pentagon is real. So there's Tic Tacs flying around, jamming our plane's radar. There's triangles hovering above our ships in the Mediterranean or wherever the hell they are.
Well, that would be almost like now those Phoenix Lights are definitely true.
Yeah.
Because I saw the video, it kind of looked like the same shape. You know what I mean? But it was night vision or whatever.
Right.
I mean, it looked like Galactica, those white things that come down.
But how are we not like talking about this? Like this is crazy.
No one cares, I guess.
And we like, it's weird that more and more stuff's coming out because when Trump signed his the COVID relief package, I don't know why you add things like this into the COVID relief bill, but like back in December, part of it was that that they have full disclosure when I think 6 months, I think it was like 180 days, whatever it was.
Yeah.
So like pretty much sometime in June, they're supposed to dump all this stuff on us. And it seems like they're just like slowly letting it trickle out.
Yeah, there's that magic date. I forget what it is, like the 15th of June or something.
Yeah.
They're supposed to dump it all. It's like, here goes Project Bluebeam. It's like, what are we, why are they just letting this out now?
Right.
Maybe because no one's paying attention. Like everybody's like, we're getting free money. They don't care.
Yeah, nobody cares because of caravans.
They literally can land in the front of the White House and no one would care. They'd be like, they should have done it when Trump was there. They'd just be yelling, "Orange man, bad."
Yeah, then
he's racist. He hates aliens.
He hates aliens. He said so because they're coming across the border. Aliens.
Yeah. Illegal aliens. They'd be like, "You can shoot them."
So, obviously, this should be way more of a story than what's being talked about. And another one that I found that nobody's talking about is everything going on with the Ukraine and Russia right now. I mean, Russia's built up 100,000 troops along the border of the breakaway satellite regions of the Ukraine. They put 40,000 troops in Crimea, which they took under the other president's watch. Not Orange Man Bad, but the one before that. And like nobody, not
Obama?
a single person. Yeah.
Chocolate Jesus.
We're not allowed to say
Edit
Obama.
that out, right? But like nobody is talking about the fact that this was their playbook in 2014 when Russia annexed Crimea, and like the Orange Man Bad was our first president who was like, look, we're not getting involved in this shit anymore. We're bringing home our troops. We're done playing this game. And like it's weird that less than 3 months later, oh hey, big bad Putin, mean Putin, he's getting ready to take the Ukraine away. Which, if you really look back in history, Ukraine's like pretty much part of Russia.
Yeah.
Ukraine is weak.
So like, you know, I mean, everybody's massing troops. They're talking about invasion. Russia is has moved some of their nuclear arsenal. No one's talking about it. They've put portable howitzers. They brought them up to the border. And like, here's the thing. So the breakaway regions of the Ukraine are really Russian because they voted to go to Russia.
Right.
They don't want to be part of Ukraine.
Right. That was how many years ago?
Yeah, years ago. So now Ukraine, all of a sudden, maybe because Hunter Biden's laptop and like the fact that they know that Biden has to back them on everything.
I mean, Hunter's laptop. It was it could have been. It might have been my laptop. It could have been.
It could have been if the Russians weren't trying to like fake stuff to make me look bad. Yeah.
It may have been. I mean, I may have someone steal my laptop. They may took it there.
Right.
I don't know.
I mean, there may have been pictures of me with prostitutes and stuff, but not really.
Who taught him how to lie? Just say, no, that wasn't my laptop.
They don't have to lie though.
No.
I mean, they've spent their whole life just getting away with everything.
Yeah, they just do it.
That's the big D way.
Yeah.
The big Democrat way.
Yeah.
Oh, did I drive this lady into a river and crawl out and like wait an hour to go call the cops? Oh yeah, sure. Don't worry about it. You're a Democrat.
Yeah. I'm good thing your brother was a war hero, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. So, but like this could go literally nuclear, and force NATO's hand into protecting another crappy region of the world where dudes can't even like get along. It's corrupt, and once again, like here goes American boys and girls over to fight some stupid war and spill blood for what? For nothing.
For nothing.
For nothing.
It's the same playbook. It was before the last election with Orange Man. They were just ramping it up. Russia's bad. Russia's bad. I almost think that they were hoping when Hillary won, because they were so sure of it, that they were just going to go right where they're doing now. They just waited for it.
Well, if you remember, at the beginning of Orange Man Bad's presidency, you know, like, remember when the Russians dropped chemical weapons in Syria? And then, like, finally the WHO had to come out and be like, no, we think this may have been staged. It may have been fake. Because all they want to do is pull us into war, dude.
Right.
Like, blood and money, dude. That's all they want to spend of our American
That
people.
was the top page. And then when WHO comes out and says that, it's like, the fifth story. It's not the top leading story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, it's just
like right as the news is ending, they're like, "Oh, by the way, the WHO says."
Yeah, it's literally like COVID. Like one day you got to wear 942 masks, but then the WHO comes out and is like, you know what? We've been watching China for about 40 years and their stinking, nasty, disgusting air, so they wear masks every day, and we realized that. According to a Stanford study, masks do nothing but recirculate your dirty, filthy breath back into your face.
Yeah, and traps bacteria, so you breathe that. Then
so you
people die of
sick.
bacterial
Yeah,
infections.
right.
Yeah, the bacterial infections went up, but that doesn't have nothing to do. That's just COVID.
Right. It's just COVID. Or like at work the other day, you know, they had the JJJ, the Johnson & Johnson jab. So like they were giving some of them out, but like they send out this thing because it got recalled, and they're like, hey, yeah, well, we know that we had one dude die from that. Wow, but he had a bunch of comorbidities. Yeah, well, isn't it weird that when the fat triple bypass patient dies of COVID, it's COVID, but when the fat triple bypass patient dies after he gets a shot, It's comorbidity.
Comorbidities.
Yeah.
He was overweight, and I remember you sent me the text, and you were like, "Hey, Johnson and Johnson's recalling." Bah, ha, ha, ha.
Yeah. I wanted to email everybody at work and like a entire agency text and be like, bah! Because guess what? I'm not dumb to get it. And Yun's all ran out and get it to only proceed to do the same shit you've been doing.
Right.
Keep wearing your stupid mask. Keep staying away from everybody in the world. Like these things don't work. They've been proven not to work. But some, dictator Fauci who like thinks he rules the world gets to make all these decisions, which really pisses me off.
Yeah.
Because I listened to that Jim Jordan confrontation with him.
Right.
And he's like, when do we get our freedoms back? I don't know, Jim Jordan or whoever you are. Maybe we never gave our freedoms up.
Right. Yeah.
Like, why are you asking some appointed freaking bureaucrat who's been there since 1980 and killed a bunch of HIV patients?
Right.
Why are you asking him when we get our freedoms back? You're a stinking lawmaker.
Yeah.
Like, I never gave my freedoms up.
No.
I don't understand why you're asking him.
I didn't never assume that. I mean, first of all, we already lost almost all our freedoms after Line 11 anyway.
Yeah.
So I mean, like
that's
like,
that's another episode.
Yeah. By the way, we're not medical doctors. Don't take any of our advice.
But what I will say is I don't stick experimental shit into my body.
Right. No, people don't. A lot of people don't even know that a lot of the safety trials from the FDA, like I think 3 of them aren't over till like January, February, and March or April of 2023. And there's one in like October 2022. So that's like 2 more years of testing that needs to be done. And these people are just like, oh, whatever. I'm just going to go ahead and get this vaccine, and I'm going to be the lab rat. And I mean, I refuse it. I know nurses and people that are refusing to take it. So because they know that it hasn't been tested.
Well, anybody with any half a brain would realize that we are the literal control group.
Right. They even say it
yes.
when they're talking. He's like, when the science comes in.
Yes.
When the science comes in.
That's
the numbers of when people die from it.
Right. That's how we'll know whether or not this thing works.
Right.
Yes. So like the people who don't take it, you're the placebo group.
Sure.
The people who take it, you're the control group. So if you're still getting sick after taking it, first off, I don't know what the hell you're taking it for because you're still getting sick.
Right.
And
you don't get none of your freedoms back anyway.
Look at England.
You
literally get nothing back.
They literally said, hey, go ahead and get the jab and then you'll be free. And they're locked down. They can't even leave their country. And they can't, I don't know how bad it is now, but they would seem like they couldn't even leave their town. Town.
Well, now they're saying they can't even go to the pub. Hey, can we go to the pub? Only if you come up with a passport, a vaccine passport.
Yeah, they want to go eat crisps with their friends.
Yeah, some chips and going to the pub.
Well, did you see that Buffalo Bills and the Sabres, not that anyone goes to see the Sabres.
Who the hell gives a crap?
Well, they're saying that you can only go see the games if you're back.
That's Buffalo, dude.
Yeah, that's Canada.
Pretty much it.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Basically, both teams have come out and said, well, they're owned by the same idiots from Penn State. They basically said, unless you're vaccinated, you can't come to the games. Not that anyone was going to the Sabres who are in last place anyway, but like no one goes to New York stuff. Like,
no, New York's dead.
Well, listen, the thing is this. This is literally a handbook from the Nazi Party. Let's create. I know. I don't like the Nazis. I think they were bad.
Yes, well,
but they are literally taking this playbook from them. So let's demonize a group.
Sure.
So instead of a group this time, they're demonizing COVID, right? So they demonize COVID and make it this big killer. Okay, and then they use that killer to take away things and to have passports and oh, do you want to travel? Oh, yeah. Okay, well, if you want to travel, then you got to have this special thing on your phone, and only if you give up all your HIPAA laws.
Papers,
please. Papers, please. Like, what was that old old TV show where the guys were in the Nazi camp.
Oh,
Hogan's Heroes.
Hogan's Heroes,
Yeah. That one dude would always be like, "I see nothing.
yeah.
Papers, please." But
a
that's literally what we're going through.
that was the fun camp in Nazi camp.
that was the fun camp.
The fun Nazi camp.
But like, it just boggles my mind how educated people can sit down and be like, "Whoa, why shouldn't I have to show something? Like, why shouldn't I run out and get this thing?" I don't know, because the dude in D.C. with the tweed jacket with the leather freaking elbow pads on it isn't a professor.
Yeah.
He's literally spent his entire career in D.C.
Sure.
Now, what I've learned, because I do some work for government, is that usually the people that flock to government aren't your A++ students.
Yeah.
They're your like I always say, like at the VA hospital and stuff, like, remember, there are doctors who get D's.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the guys who get D's don't go into private practice or go work for UPMC. They go work for the government.
Right.
Because the government protects you and they pay good. They pay good.
It's essentially socialism. Or,
Yeah.
I mean,
there are some things the government, yes, that is needed. Right.
But, you know what I mean? Like, people that work for the government always get mad at you because that's like, you know that you are net zero. You lose money.
Well, you're a consumer, and you don't add anything.
Right.
And I'm not saying like being a cop or a teacher doesn't add to society.
Right, it does, obviously.
But you don't, like, you're not building a building that can be sold for profit.
Correct.
You are consuming money from the government,
right,
which is in essence not from the government. It's from the guy who goes and builds houses,
sure, yeah,
and makes money,
yeah, or whatever. But it's just the same thing. It's they get mad. I'm like, listen, I don't hate, like, you need to be there, but don't always say you need more money. I mean, it's hard to give you. It's not that they don't want, like, I want you to get more money, but it's hard to justify when you take. There's nothing to make, but they don't get it. I mean, I understand they deserve it.
I mean, they do. They work a lot. They work when they shouldn't be working, and I try to explain to them, like, work to your contract.
Right.
But a lot of times it's hard for them to understand that.
But also when it comes to, like, teachers,
they love kids.
Well, for every 2 great teachers, there's like 6 that are
right. That's why there's only like 2 good teacher movies. Like, what's her name? Who went in? Michelle Pfeiffer, I think, went into the inner city, and
she teaches them rap.
Yeah, she probably taught them how to get IDs too. You know, and and then
what she taught them Bob Dylan. They're like, yes, this guy's hip. It's like the worst movie ever.
And then the one that they go around and do speeches. They're from the black South, like the Democrat South.
Yeah.
Before they let the blacks do anything, they like literally lynched people.
Right.
I
don't know.
Before they moved north and became businessmen, in the new Democrat Party, they lived down south, and they would literally run around in these like white sheets and stuff with hoods on their heads, and like literally lynch black people and not want them around. But it has Denzel Washington.
The Democratic Party.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Just say that next time.
but Denzel like takes them, and they like they're like a high school debate team.
Oh, yeah,
is it the Great Debaters? I think the Great Debaters. I think is what the movie is. And like he takes them, they like beat the Yale like college debate team.
Yeah, I know what movie you're talking about.
Like,
I don't know the name.
It is the Great Debaters.
Yeah.
Stand by me. Lean on me. Oh, that's a good one.
Stand by me.
No, lean on me. That's the principal.
Oh,
the faculty.
Yeah,
that was
in the inner city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where they don't like him.
Isn't it weird how they only make those movies like, hey, you needed this white dude to come into your inner city, and he was Hispanic, wasn't he?
No, he was a black guy.
Was he a black dude?
But he ran it and did like things that logically he was like
didn't he hit like gangbangers with a axe handle or something?
No, he got in trouble. The main thing he got in trouble for is he locked all the doors so drug dealers couldn't get in the school.
Oh, okay.
They're like, the school catches on fire because that happens every 3 days.
I know, yeah. And it's funny that you bring that up. Do you know, like, since like 1940, like we've had like 0 kids lost in fires in high schools or in schools in general.
Sure. I don't even know. I never even heard of a school burning down for a while.
But we and so we dump billions of dollars into fire. Hey, look, we have the sprinkler here, and if someone accidentally lights a Bunsen burner when it's not at the right time, like we'll just soak the whole place. But we've had like 20 mass shootings in schools, and they still flat out refuse to arm anybody and be like, hey, let's protect our kids from the wacko down the street. But no, hey.
Well, it's the guns. You just don't understand.
Well, I know. Well, I should say let's arm somebody so that the gun doesn't walk out of the gun safe, walk up the road.
It has to load itself, too.
Well, we don't talk about the private things that it does in its own home. We have to wait. We only care about, the final solution.
The final solution.
But like, it's funny, like that with the whole school shootings and shootings in general. But like, under Trump, I can remember of like one, like the Vegas shooting. Like that was the big one.
That was the big one.
The guy who literally carried 9 gazillion pounds of guns and ammo into one of the most secure places on the face of the earth because it's a private business and they don't want their money stolen, a casino. Goes upstairs, cuts a hole in a window.
Yeah, because that wouldn't be done.
Right, because, hey, cutting a hole in a window, who does that? Literally shoots everybody down at a
festival.
A festival on the street. I don't know why he did it. I guess he was just a crazy white dude. But like
typical.
But like my neighbor stalks me the other day when I'm out, and he's like, "Oh, Brad." Like really, I haven't talked to many of my neighbors since the election. But like he's like, "Hey, Brad, can you believe like there has been 40 mass shootings in like a month?" And I'm like, "Really?" I was like, "What? What? Where did you get this?" And he's like, "Yeah, a mass shooting is 4 or more." And I'm like, "Oh, so like I'm guessing that they're finally gonna start counting like Chicago, Philly, Detroit."
I was gonna say, we'll just go to Chicago on this Saturday when it gets warm, and there's like 15 mass shootings.
Yes, and like these people, it boggles my mind how these people can still continually watch mainstream media and like fall for the vomit spewed from these dudes' mouths.
Well, it's like you're a conspiracy theorist, so you're a racist. It's like the conspiracy theorist is the only person that's like, hey, what's going on in Chicago?
Right. Yeah, like
why are these guys? No one talks about people getting shot. You know what I mean?
Right. Like, listen, the racism is only like the government and the media push this crap. Yeah. Well, look at the Chauvin, the Chauvin trial that's going on. Look, if he leaned on that dude's neck, I want that dude swinging from gallows, dude.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know if he did because we're only seeing a 30-second clip.
Right.
And like there's going to be so much stuff that comes out during this trial that the mainstream media won't talk about. Like doctors and stuff that are sitting there going, look, there's no bruising, there's no scraping on his head and neck, and like for another human to lean on another human, like
you think you'd have cuts over.
You would have cuts on your face and stuff, and the fact that he's talking and coughing while the dude's leaning on him, like you can breathe. Like when I used to put my sister in a headlock and she'd be like, I can't breathe. I would be like, if you can talk, you can breathe. Like, I don't know where the hell we lost our common sense.
Wait a second.
Then she shit herself and her grandfather called her a shitty ass.
Yeah. And mind you, this is why I have like mental disabilities now, is because of those headlocks.
Oh, everybody has a
I'm getting my financial restitution there.
Restitution, huh?
Yeah, no, I haven't watched I've watched the clip like back when it was on, when it happened. I haven't broke it down over and over again or anything, but I just don't.
I always say, I tell people,
he had what they call comorbidities. He was high on.
He was literally high on fentanyl. It was like 20 times the limit of the human capacity.
Yeah, I heard one doctor say he was essentially ODing at the time, so it was probably a double.
And when he said he can't breathe. Like, I can't breathe. That was prior to them getting him out and leaning on him.
Right.
Like, he was in another car.
Well, he pushed himself out of the cop car.
Right. I mean, like I always tell people, like most people just want to get along, dude.
Yeah, I don't.
Like 99% of the population don't give a crap whether you're white or black, Asian. Like if you move into my neighborhood and my kid runs through your yard, if you're white or black and don't scream and holler at him, I don't give a crap.
Yeah.
No. If you're like, it doesn't matter. Like, what I don't want you to move in and be a drug dealer.
Yeah.
Like, if you're a drug dealer and you're white, I'm gonna have a problem with that.
Yeah. No one likes drug dealers in their neighborhood. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, every race is like, I don't want a drug dealer with my kids on the school bus.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and
I don't want my kids staying at the school in the same corner where there's a heroin dealer,
right.
where like another rival heroin dealer might want to shoot at that heroin dealer
right.
and doesn't give a crap whether there's 10 kids standing there.
Sure.
And I don't want little black kids to get shot at.
No.
Like that's what's crazy about the whole thing, because like maybe that little kid grows up to cure cancer, dude.
Or cures COVID.
Or cures COVID.
Yeah, then I can go back to like watching baseball games.
Yes, we can actually go back to drinking beer and being human beings again.
So please stop shooting children, is what we're saying?
Right. What we're saying is maybe the next Anthony Fauci is standing at a bus stop tomorrow morning.
Well, don't not shoot him.
No. Maybe the next Bill Gates.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, but like, it's crazy. Like, most people just want to go along with life.
My father started Planned Parenthood.
Yeah, that's Bill Gates. My dad and the other big racist to try to kill black people started Planned Parenthood. Bill Gates. Look it up. It's amazing.
Yeah, no, that's always tell my friend, like, they'll start talking about war. I'm like, and the wars in the Middle East and stuff. I'm like, why are we there? You take a Middle Eastern man and with a family, a Chinese dude with a family, a Mexican guy with a family. You all stick us in a room. We're sitting there. We'll all be talking about the time my buddy fell and my kids.
Or sports.
Yeah, like
before they destroyed them.
Yeah, like, you know, my kid fell. You know, he was playing football. You know, whatever. No one wants to kill it. Like, I don't even care what my neighbor does, and he's 100 feet away.
Right.
Why would I care what someone does 2,000 miles away?
Well, why would we care about a guy who rides around on a donkey or a camel in the mountains of Afghanistan? Why would we care about
why would he care about us?
We don't care.
He don't care as long as we're not shooting his family.
I mean, maybe if the FBI did a good job when, like, hey, I work at this airline where I train people to fly airplanes, and we have a bunch of Middle Eastern dudes that don't want to learn to land the plane. I don't know. Maybe you could check these dudes out. Oh, you know, I think we got a call from about these two brothers from Boston who were hanging out with the Chechens who were terrorists. Maybe you could check them out. Oh, I don't know. Hey, maybe this guy who wants to go into a bar and shoot it up. You know, the FBI was called on that, dude. Maybe if they did their freaking job.
Listen, they did a good job. After 9/11, they found that guy's driver's license in the rubble of 9/11 in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
Because that happened.
Everything else burned. I mean, it literally burnt so hot that it melted steel to fall straight down.
Was it a driver's license or a passport?
Hey, not like, hey, I come in on this end and I burn the left-hand side of a building, so you lean to the left and to the right.
No,
it literally burned so hot that it dropped straight down
into its footprint.
Yeah. Right. Didn't really destroy anything else except for the other
paper.
Federal Reserve buildings.
It doesn't burn
around
paper.
No, well, no. If it's so hot that it burns steel, you know that, like, you could just throw your passport onto the ground.
He flicked the passport out the window right before like a Bugs Bunny cartoon.
Did
he jumped out.
All right, we're getting way ahead of ourselves on opening day here.
Yeah, we're weird. We're getting silly.
Yeah, so, like, honestly, obviously, we just want people to, like, do well and work and help the economy so that, like, if my neighbor's doing well, I'm doing well.
Sure.
You know, which brings us to the economy.
Yeah.
And, like, the fact that nobody's talking about literally the inflation that is hitting since January 20th.
January 20th?
Yeah, I don't know.
What day was that?
I don't know what that was.
I don't know.
But I don't know, but it was pretty important. Maybe the 6th?
The
6th.
That was the big
one. Oh, and I'm not talking about the 4 dudes that the cops let run through the Capitol building. I'm talking about the actual inauguration. And since that day, how gas has gone up like 80%.
Yeah. You can't buy a 2x4 for $9, less than $9.
No.
Which depending where you live.
So today I'm moving a studio that had plywood flooring down, and so we're pulling this flooring up, and there was roughly 100, 150 sheets of plywood, and like I was thinking to myself, like, I'm literally sitting on like $10,000 worth of plywood. Like, I could put this outside for $50 a sheet,
and you'd sell
and
it.
dudes would sell it because it's selling for $70 at the local hardware store.
Well, Lowe's, I think it was $68 the other day. That's here. Now, I've heard it's high as like $75, $80.
And that's like junk. That's junk wood.
Yeah, that's not even like
That's
a nice.
not, yeah.
It's just the,
Like-
the sheeting.
Right, the seating. And like, go to the grocery store. So like, I order groceries because I'm
Well,
so
you don't want to get COVID.
I don't want to get COVID. Right. So like, I literally order my groceries and some dude brings them out to me. Hopefully he doesn't have COVID and touching them and
Well,
putting
I'm
it
sure
all
he's
over
double or
them.
triple mask.
It doesn't stick on surfaces like
They
that.
told me.
Hey, whoa.
Who are you?
Who are you?
I worked at a government facility, a medical facility.
Yeah,
I have the good wipes at home.
the good ones, the ones for the bathroom.
Yeah, the ones that cure HIV and stuff.
The one HIV. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I mean,
HIV. The other Fauci drug, miracle drug, huh?
no, that wasn't HIV. That was
Well,
AZT.
AZT,
Oh, got
which
cancer.
killed people who had cancer.
Oh, I thought it was a cancer killer. It just killed people.
No, it literally killed the people with cancer.
Oh, that's right.
So what did they do? Hey, let's send this into the population of drug addicts and stuff, and like kill their immune systems.
Sure. Yeah, I was watching, listening to No Agenda show a couple weeks ago, and they had they were talking about the doctors from the 80s. There was like 60 doctors that like said they didn't cure AIDS, but they basically had a treatment that would mitigate it. Like it was essentially a cure. They were saying it was a cure. They hired a
marketing firm.
marketing firm
Yeah, they
to
didn't
set
show,
up
nobody showed up.
Yeah, to set up a meeting, and no one shows up. No one shows up. Like two reporters show up,
Right.
and they play clips of them, which everybody's like, yeah, No Agenda is a conspiracy show where they just play news clips.
Clips of the actual people.
Yeah, just of the
talking.
news. That's
Yeah.
what, like I always send that to people. That's my show that I send to people because they're not going to think I'm a nut job because all they literally do is play news clips, and they still think I'm crazy.
Right.
They're like, these guys are nuts. I'm like, what? Because they read the news. They listen to the news and just talk about what they said, and no one cares.
Well, the news is fake then, right?
No, just from CNN and the fake news.
Well, but that's the fake news that they're playing?
No,
Oh,
well, they
man.
play clips from all different shows.
Yeah, fake news, CNN. But here's the thing: like 90% of the public thinks that's real.
Well, yes, for sure.
Oh, hey, did Dan Rather tell me he landed in a war zone, even though it's been proven that it wasn't? Oh, absolutely. I can totally believe that guy.
Well, the problem with what bothers me with fake, I don't mind like an older elderly person, even in their 50s or 60s, that believe that's news because that's a different era than what we grew up in. I mean, we're 40. You're like a couple years
Yeah,
older.
right.
You know what I mean? But we grew up at the beginning of the computer generation.
Right, so we can find our own news.
We know how to use it.
Yeah.
So when I meet a 40-year-old man or even a woman who tells me like everything they believe in is off CNN or MSN, even Fox News. I'm like, I'm not even a Republican. Like, I don't even believe. I wouldn't believe Fox News or even that new. What is the new one? Newsmax or whatever.
Yeah,
Everybody
Newsmax,
loves it. It's like
right,
the
yeah.
corniest show. Like they're so. It's like our podcast.
If I had $1 billion, maybe my Dogecoin or Dogecoin or whatever,
Doge.
if that goes up to like $100 a coin, dude, maybe we'll start our own news.
Well, I'm still
station.
waiting for the big Trump news thing. The news thing. The
The
Q.
Q.
The
The
Q.
Q. The Q.
Trust the plan.
Trust the plan.
Yeah, I still remember going to the rally. Yelling,
like
trust
back-
the plan.
Back to Fauci though, like, and like the AZT drug, like Fauci literally owns patents on drugs. And I was listening to, it might have been no agenda, but it might have been another one. I'm not sure. I
What about tinfoil or
apologize.
something?
Tinfoil hat, yeah. But they were saying how, like, I believe you can't own a patent on a naturally occurring
Right.
thing.
Yeah, I've heard this like back at the beginning of this whole thing.
Right.
They already had.
So if Moderna or any of these other places own a patent on COVID, that means one of two things.
It had to be man-made.
It literally means it was man-made. Right. And if it wasn't man-made, then they freaking just lied to the patent office, which they should do federal brig time. Yeah. And like be thrown in prison.
Yeah. Speaking of that, Johnson & Johnson, maybe you want some talcum powder?
Yeah. Well, you know, like, I know it's hard to like stay off the COVID thing because like that's what we're talking about. Like it's everywhere.
That's everybody's world.
But like, yeah, like so. Let's look at like Moderna. Let's look at Pfizer. Let's look at Johnson & Johnson. So Johnson & Johnson, let's just take them right off the bat because it's still fresh. It should be fresh in everybody's mind. They literally spent 50 years putting asbestos in baby powder and then telling our women to rub this on your most private parts to protect you from sweat or whatever. Who cares? Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't worry about those problems.
Yes, I don't. I mean, I got some sweat down there too. I'd probably throw some baby powder on. But like, they threw asbestos in it.
Yeah.
And then they spent like 5 years going, "Oh, we would never put asbestos in anything." And so, no, we don't owe you any money.
And I believe it's like number 2 or 3 all-time loss. It's like
civil lawsuits.
Civil lawsuits, like $2.6 billion.
I don't know what company can pay $2 billion and recover from it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, maybe if the government's funding you for COVID.
But I'm pretty certain I just read an article or heard it on No Agenda or something that has 3 of the top all-time high lawsuits were all
It's Pfizer,
Johnson
& Johnson, and
I
don't know. There's a third one. I think it's a British company, and it's 3 words.
Well, who's
something Klein?
Yeah, something Klein. I know what you're.
But anyway, I mean these companies who are pumping us full of an experimental drug, Glasgow, Klein, something Smith Klein, Glasgow, Smith Klein.
It's 3 names.
Yeah.
But what drug company had the antacid that was giving everybody cancer? What was
I don't know.
But like that's another one.
Yeah, I mean, look at Pfizer. Pfizer pumped out oxycodone. They pumped out all of these drugs, and has led to the largest heroin epidemic.
Right.
Because literally, what it is legalized heroin, but only if you're a $1 billion company and you can get the government to approve it.
Well, the one thing
if Billy cooks heroin and meth in his backyard, you go to prison. But if you have a drug name, you get to cook meth and heroin and hand it out like candy to people, and you don't get in any trouble.
That's what Sam Tripoli always says from the 10 Boys. Like, it's not that white people don't deal drugs; they just do it way better. Because they own corporations and they just kill millions. You know what I mean? They kill millions of people, don't even get in trouble.
Right? They don't.
GlaxoSmithKline, $3 billion.
Yeah, $3 billion.
Now they're kind of low on this. I'm looking into a
they're
website.
They're not really doing much with the COVID. I think they're doing the mutation.
Yeah, the bunch of mutations.
Hey, this is going to mutate. So I was listening to
after the vaccines to give it.
Yeah, well, I was listening to I don't even know who it was the other day, but they were saying like we totally rushed these too fast, and now these mutations are going to get worse.
Right.
Because you don't want to like jump into this especially like a COVID.
Right.
Because these mutate so fast.
Yeah, that was that doctor that was boys with Bill Gates there. He was in the foundation.
Oh, yeah.
And it was on a bunch of different shows. You probably heard it numerous times.
Right.
I forget his name.
Yeah, now. He used to work
He was like seriously
he was huge into vaccines.
Well, he was seriously like concerned that it was going to cause like it was almost bad that if you got the vaccine that you're going to be spreading other illnesses to other people that haven't had the vaccine.
Yeah. Well, I was listening to Dr. Tenpenny, I think is her name.
Yeah.
And she was on like Hagman and Hagman. And she was saying like the flu season next year, they're going to come out and they're going to say how bad flu is going to be. Make sure you get your flu shot. Let me pump you full of more fake shit that doesn't really work. Maybe sometimes only works 13% of the time. And like she said, like, she's saying, like, because the COVID and the mRNA literally changes your cells in your body, that, like, it's going to start killing people. Like, you're literally going to start falling over dead.
People are going to drop over.
Yeah.
About 13% of the time, it works every time.
Yeah. Black Panther. Yeah. So, like, I still, like, it boggles my mind to know that, like smart people or, like, people you look like, that dude's pretty smart. Like, he's pretty smart. Or just run out and get this vaccine and then act like you're the whack job for not letting them jam crap into your body.
Like you have no idea what it is.
Right. Like, here's the one golden rule I've learned through this whole, quote, deadly pandemic of a whopping 2 million people, even though the Spanish flu killed like 10 million people in like 1918.
It hit 3 million, I think.
Oh, I'm sorry, 3 million.
But this just in.
This
just in 3 million.
Thinking there's 7 billion people, 7.5 billion people on Earth, that's like less than 1%.
Well, we don't want to mitigate the deaths of people.
Stop with that shit. Like,
they are the 1%.
I hate what, like, that we have to preface everything. Like, we're these big evil dictators and like.
Well, you know, like, these people that do that most likely care less than what we really do.
I know.
Because I would never say that on, like,
if I'm holding a conversation with somebody, I'm not like, listen, I don't want to really offend you, but
look at my feelings. I want to wear it on my face.
Right.
Like, this guy.
Everybody's feelings matter today. Everybody's.
What I've learned the last year was don't trust anybody in a pink sweater or anybody who knows their feelings in the
Bill Gates. Is it a sweater or a sweater vest?
No, I think he wears a lot of sweaters.
Oh, okay.
A lot of pastels.
Well, one of the things that I've learned through my life is that government never gives you back what they've taken.
No.
Right. So, like, hey, news flash, people, if you wear a mask now, you're probably going to wear a mask forever.
Yeah, I've talked to nurses that they said that their bosses essentially said that this is probably never going to go.
Right. Well, it's our new flu.
Well, you got the lawyers and stuff. They're going to always be like, well, safety. You got to have safety. You got to want to get sued. You know, that way. And, you know, that's, granted, I don't wear a mask.
And the other thing that I've learned, I don't either. The other thing that I've learned is they literally don't care about you.
No.
So, like, as, you know, like, Russia has been building, like, nuclear fallout shelters for their population to run into in case of a nuclear attack. What has your government done? They have shelters for them, for the 1,000, quote, critical people in D.C.
Well, that's just a conspiracy theory. Mm-hmm. They don't really have shelters.
Well, is that
under Denver Airport?
What's that? Well, Denver Airport. What's the one in Pennsylvania? There's one under the mountains in PA down near D.C., like
down towards
Rock Mountain,
George Washington's place there.
About that. So, like, they don't care about you. All they care about is retaining power. Power is king to them. Right. I mean, you know, like, Pelosi is a multimillionaire.
Yeah. How?
So, like, it doesn't even matter how.
Right.
Besides the fact that, like, she knew Microsoft was going to get a big deal from the government the other day, and her husband bought a bunch of Microsoft.
Oh, yeah, she's the modern-day Nostradamus.
Yeah. But, like, I don't even care.
Mount Vernon,
Yeah, Mount Vernon's where he lived. But I can't remember. There's a literal Cold War era shelter down there in Pennsylvania in the mountains.
Right, they have it all laid out.
But anyway, like, I don't even care that she's a multimillionaire. But, like, at what point, if you sit back and think, like, if I hit the lottery today and won $100 million, because I think Pelosi's worth 114.
Yeah.
If you won $100 million, would you want to wake up, go to work, and listen to dudes bash you on conspiracy websites?
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like, why not just retire to a 5,000-acre ranch with a big swimming pool, have $100 freaking ice cream brought in like Pelosi did, you know, because we're all in this together.
Yeah, they could
alone together.
They could get people to bring them the genochrome right by the pool.
Yeah, their aborted baby fetuses so they can drink it and stuff. But, like, it boggles my mind. The only reason you want to go into politics is power.
Sure.
I mean, before Trump, not a single president left office at a loss. You know what I mean? So, like, if let's say Trump was worth $1 billion, I think he was worth roughly $3 billion or something like that. He's worth like $1 billion now.
Fake news.
Yeah, yeah. And why is he the only one? Why are they attacking him? Like, I don't get it unless you're not part of their agenda.
Right.
Like, you don't want Russia and Ukraine to fight. Like, you want jobs to come back to America so that the middle class grows, because if you own a bunch of hotels around the world, guess who goes to those hotels? Middle class.
Yeah, regular work.
Dudes with jobs who go away for 2 weeks once a year.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm on the fence with Trump. You know, some days I think, you know, he was, and then some days I think he was part of the plan.
Right. He was. I think, hey, trust the plan was another big rich dude comes in and sticks it to you. But, like, it's amazing, like, you know, I mean, it's the Nazi playbook.
Hey, he loves the Nazis.
Where they literally, like, demonize somebody so much that eventually half the population hates them.
Right. I don't. You know, I think the main like I just teased you about saying you love the Nazis. The main reason you keep bringing up the Nazis because they never. I don't think they ever went away. They never lost.
No, they did.
They just put suits on.
Yeah, they took the SS death head off their collar,
right,
and put like a Louis Vuitton suit on,
right,
and they walk around
and put an American flag.
They got a nice Hugo Boss suit.
Yeah, right. Well, Hugo, yeah, Hugo Boss.
They were snappy dresses,
right? And they, well, I think that's who made their uniforms.
Correct.
Yeah. So, like, they walk around. They still control the money. They still control the power. They still hold people down based on their race, creed, or color, and they don't give a shit about you except for the fact that if they have enough of the population trained slaves to go to work and freaking pay taxes, like, that's it. Like, I was buying something the other day, and I get into the car. So it was like $100 item.
Right.
So it was $110. It came to like 116 something. And I jokingly said, like, hey, Uncle Sam has to get his portion. But, like, I think about it, like, you literally, they steal the money out of your paycheck. Right?
Sure.
In federal, state, local, and your right to work tax.
You literally have no say.
Right. They steal it out of your paycheck. You know, remember the paycheck that you said when your employer was like, hey, yeah, you're going to make $40,000. Oh, $40,000 sounds great. Wait, why did I only make $24,000? Oh, because the government stole 15 of it.
Yeah.
You know. So, like, not only do they steal it from your paycheck, but then when you use that paycheck to buy something, they steal more of it.
And then you buy a house, and they're like, hey, you have to pay the king that live on his property.
Yeah. You never own your property.
Yeah, like, you're a feudal. Because that's feudal. We're feudal.
You literally just work a little bit at the property, and then you get to they get to steal it in your death tax after you leave it to your kids.
Yeah, I think I read it. I heard it somewhere that they're going to raise it. They're trying to lower it to $1 million.
$1 million. So, like, let's look at our Pap for a second.
Yeah.
So, like, my grandfather had,
AKA good nickname guy.
Yeah, great nickname, Pap. So, like, if you look at him, so like, he owned a couple rentals. He owned a pretty house, a really nice house in a nice neighborhood.
Yeah.
He owned a boat. He rented a dock every year. And he owned an 80-acre farm that was left to him.
Right.
So if you add all that up, he's probably right. No, this isn't even counting any money he put into the market that he had in an account. He's probably close to $1 million. So he leaves that to his kids. And his kids are going to get taxed at like 30%.
Yeah, so that's what they're essentially doing is stealing farms.
Yes, because if bought 1,000 acres when gold and silver actually were worth something, so he bought it for like $1,000, $1 an acre, and now it's worth like $3,000 an acre of fake money.
Yeah, especially if you're a nice place, it could be worth 10.
Right, and heaven forbid there could be some natural gas underneath the earth that they're not stealing from the neighboring farm.
Right,
but like. So now let's just say you have $1 million. They're literally taking $750,000.
Yeah, what like farmer like son is going to have like him and his brother are going to have $750,000 to pay for
for the $3 million farm that their great grandfather bought.
That their great grandfather,
and has been working.
Right.
Producing food for the entire country and half of China.
Well, they're going to steal it, and then Bill Gates will buy it.
Yeah, because he's the largest farm owner in the world.
Because rich countries should be eating fake meat.
Fake meat,
yeah.
While I farm real fun stuff,
right?
Like real corn,
and chickens,
yeah,
and,
right.
But notice I have a hard on for Bill Gates. I can't stand him.
I want to punch his face in.
I can't
so
stand his
hard.
face or his voice. It just. Like I said,
P.S. News flash: I'm actually 3 times more educated than Bill Gates.
Oh, there you go.
I have 2 undergrads and a master's.
You're not as good a speaker as Bill Gates.
Well, maybe not.
You're a little rough around the edge. You don't talk soft.
He needs if he had a sweater.
Yeah, you need a pass.
You need a sweater.
Do I need glasses? You need a wife that looks like a dude.
You need a pastel sweater and a guy to cut your hair with a bowl in your head.
Yes. But if I know how to computer program, I can screw the world.
Yeah, you need to look like
I can control the population.
What you want to do
through vaccines.
What you really want to do is look like a young Stephen Hawking. When he first was in the wheelchair.
Yeah. So Bill Gates, that we all take our literal vaccine knowledge from.
Well, remember 2 weeks, or it was a week ago, you said me, he's like, hey, Google the most powerful doctor in the world. And I'd Google it, and I was like, no, like, what?
It's Bill Gates.
It's Bill Gates. I'm like, like you said, hey, why? You don't have to burn books, or you just click or 2 buttons and get rid of the history.
I mean, we can just literally quote Rage Against the Machine. You don't got to burn the books. They just change them.
Yeah.
They can literally change them because these generations of kids don't realize that you can go open a paper and read what was literally done 100 years ago. They think that you just Google it.
Sure, and that's the answer.
Right. Or DuckDuckGo or whatever.
Well, DuckDuckGo, at least you might get somewhat of you at least get some variety. Google's everything is on top. I'll look up a video.
Fact checker.
Fact check.
False. Are you lying? False.
Fact check. False.
False.
Then you get
Nazis did not have Hugo Boss as their uniform makers.
Yeah, Rage Against the Machine. You mean the anti-establishment rock group that begs you to go get a vaccine and that you should.
Which is another crazy thing. I know, I listen to the Brits and stuff, and you think of the Clash and the Sex Pistols and all these punk rock bands that were never listen to the man. These same dudes are out front of everything, going I totally went and got my my 100% safe and effective vaccine today.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm like you and I are the new punk rock.
That's what I said. Whoever thought a white Christian male, not even white, Christian male would be anti-establishment.
Yeah, punk rock.
Punk rock. That's what we
literally punk rock.
I'm trying to grow this. That's what I'm trying to
our sweet mohawks.
Our mohawks with bald spots.
Someone told me the other day. You're really trying to cling to that hair, aren't you? And I'm like, come on, bro. I'm growing a mohawk. You know?
You cling to it.
Yeah, cling to my guns and my religion.
It looks really good.
Thank you.
Yeah, cling to my guns and my religion.
And my mohawk.
They come take them.
I figured when they come to literally take them.
At least they have a good
it
photo.
Would look really sweet with a mohawk when I'm on TV.
Well, when they show your death, the video, it's there he is with his pink mohawk. Or purple. He's just dye it purple.
Yeah. The crazy conspiracy.
So you dye it green like the Joker.
Yeah, well. Yeah. I mean, the Joker was punk rock.
Yeah, I always thought he was the best bad guy.
Yeah, I guess. But, so, the last thing I think we should talk about today.
Since we covered
pretty much.
We won't have to do it.
We will not have to do another.
So if anybody ever does listen to this, they'll probably it'll be the exact same thing.
And since you'll be 100% educated, you won't ever have to look at anything else or listen to anybody else.
You just cancel. Just listen to this one show over and over again.
So obviously we got the cop trial out in Minnesota or wherever he is. It's so hard to keep track of.
Yeah, because when I think of racial violence, I think of Minnesota.
Yay. Think of But anyway, Maxine Waters.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, let's incite some riots today. Let's see if we can call to action everybody.
Yeah, you said she had she said something today. I didn't get to see it.
Yeah, she quoted like we should get more confrontational. That's a quote. More confrontational.
That sounds familiar to like when Trump was in office about how like we should get out and throw things at Republicans. And you see them eating, we should scream in their face.
Right. No.
So that way the Republican has to physically harm you to get you
to get out of the restaurant,
protect themselves. So they can quote you as a violent offender.
Or like, how about this quote? I really like this one. A guy, guilty or innocent until proven guilty is how we used to be. Well, now we're guilty until proven innocent. But she liked to say today, we're looking for a guilty verdict. Because that's always a great thing for a politician to come and run their mouth about 10 of their peers deciding on evidence on whether or not somebody should go to prison.
Yeah, that wouldn't be swaying anybody.
No, I mean, that wouldn't be like Cuba or, Mao's China or, even like the Russia of the time when like their neighbor would call and be like, I think my neighbor likes Levi jeans. Let's throw him in prison for 25 years. In the gulag. Manual labor.
Fact check false.
I mean, she said, like, I'm very hopeful that I hope that we're going to get a verdict that will say guilty, guilty, guilty.
Does he have to say
and if we don't, we cannot go away.
What's she gonna say?
If they only get 2 guilties, we have to riot.
Yeah, hang him from the tree until he's dead.
Yeah, until death.
Yeah, but
hanged until death.
I think this is a setup. It don't matter. Regardless of what happens at the trial, I believe, me personally, I hope
they're going to burn it down.
Yeah, I mean, if he's,
I mean, if the Penguins, I mean, listen, if the Detroit Pistons win the NBA championship, they literally burn Detroit to the ground in happiness.
Yeah.
So I mean, if this dude doesn't get a literal like lynched, I'm going to hang you from the gallows till dead.
Right.
Like, if that's not what they do.
If he doesn't get a death sentence, that's the only way. And I still think they're still going to be mad because they're not going to kill him quick enough.
Right. Because he'll spend 50 years in jail.
Appeals.
But it's already set up, and they want this to happen. It's just, it's the same thing. It's like Rodney King all over again.
Yeah, except
the country's weaker.
Yeah. I know, right?
Yeah, no.
But, like,
you had people in California at the time with AR-15s at the time. Protecting their business.
Well, they can have an AR-15.
I understand, but like they don't
10 rounds.
10 rounds clips. But they do it out of choice now.
No pistol grip.
You know what I mean?
No pistol grip.
This was in the city,
right? But when literal like the Koreans were like defending their own businesses from being burnt down.
Because they were playing clips of that the other day on No Agenda again. I'm going to bring them up again. Like I listen to their show every day.
Yeah, I like it.
But that was like they played clips where the news anchor's like, I don't think it was necessary for him to fire on those people. And then like building was literally surrounded. His family was in there.
Right. Oh, I mean, when you're throwing Molotov cocktails through the front window.
Look, he's just protecting his business.
I think we shouldn't shoot back.
Yeah, he's protecting himself and his family.
Wait a minute. Should the police fire tear gas into these rioters? How upsetting.
Yeah, we'll just go and burn down Waco. That's fine.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, as long as as long as they're white and they're little kids, we're good to burn that to the ground.
Or
shoot the guy's wife holding his baby on the baby ridge.
No one cared about that.
No. But I mean, they burnt. Well, what was amazing about that? After they killed the woman and her kid standing outside the door at Ruby Ridge, they needed to look good in front of the camera. So they just murdered 70 people in Waco, dude.
The only thing they have, but that Ruby Ridge, the only reason it's not a bigger story is because it's hard to like the guy. He was like literally hanging out with like white supremacists and stuff. I mean, whatever. But you still shouldn't be. Your family shouldn't be killed for wanting to live up in the mountains.
Right. Well, your family shouldn't be killed for an FBI agent saying, "No, cut that shotgun here that you just sold me." Right, wait, you won't do it because it's illegal? Well, let me saw it off there.
Yeah.
Right. And just like Governor Whitmer from Michigan during the COVID.
Sure.
Remember when they went and arrested the militiamen from Michigan? I just read an article the other day. All charges were dropped on them dudes.
because there's probably nothing.
Because, do you know why? Because it was an FBI agent.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yes. I read that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, that happens a lot. It seems like.
Well, I mean, it happens when they want to get their agenda going, but it doesn't happen when, like, Russia calls the Americans and says, "Hey, these two brothers were over here. They might bomb the Boston Marathon.
Right.
Maybe you should look into them." Nope, everything's okay. We talked to them.
Yeah, we had an interview.
We were good.
You know that. Well,
Only after they lock the entire city down, go house to house illegally to try to find them, like literally walking into people's homes illegally, and then they get into a shootout with the police. But the one brother runs the other brother over.
After you hear tape him saying we didn't do it, we didn't do it, and that was such a sad day when people cheered the police leaving. Thank God you were here.
Thank God you came right through my house. Yeah. Hey, my kids are here. Let me throw a flashbang in and make sure that the brother Boston Bombers aren't in there.
But they were so happy that the police militarized and came to their house and literally stuck guns in their face and told them they had to leave their house.
Right.
And then if I would have said
no search warrant,
no nothing.
No, you would have got hauled off.
They would have shot me and said I was a nut job.
A terrorist.
A terrorist. Yeah, because they were like, look, he has guns. He's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't. By the way,
he's got guns and ammo.
I don't have guns.
No, they went into the bottom of Raystown Lake.
Yeah.
I lost him in a boating accident.
Yeah. It was.
We were coyote hunting on the back of the boat with my entire seat.
Well, I fell asleep on an ice sheet.
It
was a door. No, it was a door. And I let the gun go.
That's so bad, dude. I hate when that happens. It literally happens once a week to me.
I was floating on the door, and I couldn't hold on to the gun anymore. So there you go.
You let Jack go.
You let Jack.
That was the guy's name.
Yeah, even though there's 9 different ways that they both could have fit on top of that. So
no, that was go ahead.
Go. You're up.
No, I was just gonna say we're getting closer to the end. I didn't know if you had anything else you wanted to talk about today. This week.
No, I mean, I think ending on a literal politician calling for more violence,
yeah.
When things don't go their way, is a great. No, not the orange guy. Orange man bad. I'm talking about Maxine Waters.
Oh, the ugly one.
No, I don't call people ugly.
I don't
That's
care.
rude.
That's rude. I mean, when you're an attractive person like we are,
yeah,
that's not nice to look down.
Don't worry. When you're when you're a 3 out of a 10 like me, I can call out another 3 out of 10.
If you ever see a picture of all three of us, we're the 3 ugliest people you've ever seen. We just called someone ugly.
But yeah. So, I mean, I think that would be a great thing to end on because, why not end on a literal politician calling for citizens to rise up and be violent?
Yeah.
I mean, because, I was thinking 3 months ago, some politicians with D's in front of their names raised a big stink about that.
Yeah.
But since it's okay now.
Well, it was okay before too.
Right. Well, yeah.
That whole time during the beginning of it.
Well, we'll talk about the cities burning
when it burns. Yeah.
When they burn,
we'll just bring up more.
Well, we'll bring that up again. But I think Maxine Waters calling for literal violence is a great place to stop, dude.
Yeah. No, we'll be back next week, hopefully. We get all our technology.
Well, I'm sure there's some more Tic Tac UFOs flying around our Navy vessels that we'll probably hear about, but not really hear about.
Yeah, maybe something fun will happen next week where we can talk about old conspiracies, fun ones that used to be fun, like aliens and and JFK assassination.
Since they're getting ready to fly the drone on Mars that has a third of our gravity, maybe it'll shoot off into Pluto or something.
Yeah, one day we could talk about flat Earth.
Yeah. So, flat Earth. Yeah, like the new Kong versus Godzilla movie.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that was center Earth. I don't know if they were going for it was sort of flat Earth.
We were in a dome. They kept Kong in a dome.
They said that in Furman. I heard
they
it once.
locked Kong up.
Yeah, it was sad.
But hey, thanks for checking in this week with us, and we'll have a little bit more to talk about next week, I'm sure, because society's great, nothing's burning down, and the world is peaceful and harmonious.
If we're still around, we'll talk next week. All right, well, have a nice week. We'll see you.
And we'll see you next week on This Week in Conspiracy.